LPT, today I fucked up by accidentally jizzing on a female nurse. Backstory to this. So the wife and I are going through IVF right now, which involves me having to jizz in a cup, to my displeasure. The only booth-sized room a man should jack off in is at a peep show. First off, you can't jack off for 4 days. You sit on this padded waiting room chair with like a toilet seat cover on it, and it's just incredibly awkward for me. I arrive at the doctor's office and am greeted by a fairly attractive nurse. He leads me to the room, gives me the supplies, and opens the door to the room. I'm in the room, with the cup, got some videos pulled up on my phone, and I start going at it. Like I said, it is incredibly awkward for me. Usually I take breaks and just start back up again. Right behind the chair is a button you push to get the nurse's attention when you're done and the sample is ready to be collected. I'm working up to it, and as I leaned back briefly I must have pushed the button. I stand up ready to collect the sample, and the door opens and I hear "all right is everything." It caught me by surprise, so I quickly turn towards the door and finish, right on her pant leg. Immediately I can feel my face just turning red with embarrassment. We both stand in disbelief for what seemed like forever. I try my best to just say that I'm sorry, but surprisingly she wasn't too fazed by it. She just grabbed a tissue, cleaned off her pant leg, and just asked, "Well, do you need another collection cup?" Told her that I would be out in a moment. I go back out, wash my hands, and meet her at the front desk. She made it seem like nothing happened, which was beyond professional on her part, and we simply scheduled another appointment. Too long didn't read. I had to jizz in a cup for IVF, and right when I was about to blow, the nurse walked in, caught me by surprise, and I finished on her pant leg. Edit, thank you everyone for the awards. I didn't think that my unfortunate incident would attract this much attention. I'm loving some of the comments. Now I can't answer every question individually, so let me clear some things up. / the lock on the door. No, there was not a lock on the door. Rather, outside there is an occupied sign. This is, I am assuming, for safety in case something happens / the call button. So as I explained, when you are finished, you press a green call button and place the collection cup into a metal box attached to the wall. Then the nurse will come in and make sure that you filled out the information correctly on your collection cup / no, there is no needle to the ball sack involved with IVF. At least with our clinic there isn't / I went through IVF and never did this. Well, I don't know how your process went, but with me I've had to provide several analysis collections along with semen cultures. I'm most likely going to have to provide more once our cycle starts / thank you everyone who is wishing us success in our journey with IVF. It's been a very stressful last 7 months, especially with COVID and trying to schedule all of the appointments. Why wouldn't they knock and ask if they can walk in? Also, why wouldn't Top use the lock on the door? Today I fucked up by accidentally revealing my sexual fantasy to Reddit users under the guise of a poorly penned fictitious story. I've never experienced IVF, but why would there be a button to summon her into the room? Shouldn't you just collect your sample and walk it up to the collection desk? Or, I don't know, a lock on the door? Each cycle that my wife and I have been through, I've always produced the sample at home and brought it with me. I had to go in a hospital bathroom one time. It fucking sucked. I went in a couple days prior to meet with a radiation oncologist to talk about getting radiation treatments for blood cancer, but I was in such bad shape that they had me admitted to the cancer unit to get chemo. So a few hours before they started chemo, a nurse with the fertility clinic came to my room to have me give them a sample to freeze in case the chemo made me infertile. So I had to jerk off while my skin was all hot and super itchy, from cutaneous lymphoma, my lymph nodes were super swollen, and I had a fever. I was basically in the process of dying. Anyway, I only got like 4 drops out, which was really weird, but I had bigger things to worry about at the time. Then I put it in a paper bag and my mom had to carry it across the hospital complex to get it to the fertility clinic. That was a pretty fucking bad experience, TBH. LPT, don't go for a 20-mile walk without prior experience. So here it goes. Me, F19 UK, started growing wisdom teeth, and since I couldn't handle the pain anymore, I asked the NHS to give me an appointment with a dentist since all in my area are booked. booked. And the appointment I got was 20 miles away from where I lived, in a different town. So, genius me comes up with the idea to walk the 20 miles since Google said it's only 6 hours and 20 minutes. First bad idea. Should have just taken the train. So the day of the appointment, a couple of weeks ago, I wake up at 1 AM and prepare some food and drink for the walk. I head out at 2 AM and my appointment is at 10:10. I told myself that 8 hours is more than enough, since I'm relatively fit. So it's pitch black and I head outside without my glasses. Second bad idea since I can't see anything without them, but I'm too lazy to go up and get them. As I start it's relatively okay, I'm walking through my town. It's quiet and dark. As I head outside the city area, it's just fields upon fields of crops. But today I fucked up the night lights of the city and I took some pictures. Now as I walk further out, on the third mistake, Google in all its wisdom, tells me to walk alongside the highway. So I'm walking 5/6 miles in 4/5 am and the road is empty and I'm listening to ContraPoint's videos that I downloaded earlier. Good times. And as I approach my 10th mile 6 AM, I can feel the pain in my foot getting worse and walking on the grass on the side of the road is very much harder than walking on the road. And since cars started using the road I had to move to the grass. Oof. So now I have a very sore foot and all the water I drank earlier is starting to signal its release. Try and hold it in, but I fixed the problem later in my own way that I'm not gonna say on Reddit. Now in the 13th mile around 7 AM-ish. Pain is spreading to the hips and I need some more snacks. And thankfully there's a boat today. I fucked up the village ahead and a corner shop/grocery shop that I spot from afar. I take some pics of the village and I go into the shop and I buy chocolates, good, and soda. Fourth mistake. So on my next break, I had been taking regular 5 minutes breaks. I decided to have some soda, on an empty stomach. Oh, the pain in my tummy. Despite that, I get up and walk since in this remote part of the country, I can't just call an Uber and give up. I can only do that in the final town. Around 15/16 mile and 8 AM-ish, shit gets real. My whole body is aching and I'm starting to approach the outskirts of the other town and finally there are some proper sidewalks to walk on. But guess what? Google fucks me again. Fifth fuck up. And this town has some of the longest and steepest hills ever. Like 2 miles long and all incline. My foot is giving up and I'm just pushing myself to get in town so I can call an Uber. So, it's the last 2 miles and it's already 9:30 AM. So I know I'm not gonna get my appointment. Side note, my phone is at 15%, down all the way from 100 at start. I'm just inching ahead at this point, and this is the 2-mile incline hill. Life just fucks me harder and I need to pee again. I blame the soda. So now I'm getting into the main town and walking like a zombie. And now I make a smart move and decide to go to the big Morrison's, similar to Walmart, at the end of this long and shitty road. I only have to go straight, so no need for shitty Google and I turn my phone off as well. Another smart move. Now, around 10 AM, as I inch closer to my prize, the toilet, I can stand any more cause of the pain. But thank God I find some benches along the road to rest and massage my legs. Finally around 11 AM after 20 miles of walking, I see the Morrison's logo. Yes. The final few steps through the parking lot were the hardest. And I storm in and find the closest bathroom nearby. Sweet relief. After that, I finally noticed that I'm getting very hungry. So I buy all the cake I want and a spoon. I start to devour the cake as I realize, 1, this cake tastes amazing, and 2, I didn't call an Uber yet. Very close major fuck up. So I open my phone and 5% left. I quickly enter my home address into the app and get confirmation that the driver arrives in 8 minutes. But phone turns off as I almost read the name of the car and driver. I only managed to see the grey color of the car, and now begins the most stressful 8 minutes of my life as I wait in front of Morrison's for a grey car with an Uber logo. My phone is dead and if I miss this Uber I'm very fucked. In a new town, can't walk at all and with no access to my phone for help, I'm done for. Finally the car arrives. It stopped in front of me, and I get in and relax. And on the way back, we travel the same route that I took and I get a second reminder of every single one of my fuck-ups. But hey, I at least can brag that I once walked 20 miles at once. When I got home, I took off everything and showered first and enjoyed the rest of the cake. This is a cake for 16 people, and went to sleep. I couldn't walk properly for a few days and I had a mild fever, and the pain in the joints and muscles lasted for about a week, and the tooth pain went away anyways. Thanks for reading this despite my horrible storytelling. Too long didn't read. I overestimated my walking capability, got cocky, pun intended, and tried to walk 20 miles in 6 hours, got fucked by Google Maps directions. Ended up spending 9 hours and almost got stuck in a different town with no phone and no ability to move. Walking 20 miles at once is a 0-10, wouldn't recommend. Edit, this is what Ripinbox feels like. I'm sorry but I don't think I can answer everyone's comments. Edit 2, for the people asking why I didn't take my glasses, I should have clarified that I can still function fine without them, but it's just nice to have them. And also I didn't want to wake up my roommate by constantly going in and out. Edit 3, American English helps everyone understand what I'm talking about. And also I lived in America for a while, so some of the words are still stuck in my head. And for anyone with doubt of my Britishness, you can go sod off. It's very nice of you to try to help others learn from your failings. That being said, I can confidently say no one ever in the history of humanity will ever think it's a good idea to walk 20 miles to a dentist appointment, outside of necessity. Especially when that appointment starts at 10:10 a.m. 6 more miles, and that's a marathon. Assuming you want to keep score in your mind. Your challenge, if you choose to accept it. Run 26 miles, to your wisdom teeth extracted. Run the 26 miles home. Then you can have cake. This is one of the most surreal stories I've seen on Reddit, frankly. I applaud your stamina and endurance, but how on earth does it occur to a 19-year-old human being that the easiest way to get to a doctor's appointment that's more than 30 kilometers away is to take a leisurely walk? Thanks for this, anyway, and I hope you and your teeth are well. Waking up at 1 a.m. to walk 30 kilometers to the dentist. Surreal is putting it nicely. Did you plan on walking the 20 miles home too? Presumably they would give you drugs to remove the wisdom teeth, which would make that walk far more interesting. Decides to walk 20 miles, but too lazy to walk upstairs and get your glasses. Second bad idea, since I can't see anything without them, but I'm too lazy to go up and get them. Something no one who actually needs glasses has ever done. Nevertheless, on their way out for the entire day's worth of walking. A word. Today I fucked up by whispering sweet nothings into my wife's ears. Today I fucked up so my partner is Persian, and as such I have been slowly learning Farsi to talk to her in her native tongue. Well, tonight, we were starting to get down to some snuggling, and as I was caressing her I figured it was time for some sexy talk, and I started with a few sweet sayings. Now usually I opt for English, and since she didn't know I had started learning Farsi, I wanted to surprise her tonight by seducing her in her tongue, as it were. Started off with classics like Dusa Daram, I love you, and Atashtalam, fire of my heart, which she was surprised by and seemed really excited by. Then, disaster happened, when I stumbled into a mistake or two. By whispering in my most velvety voice, Anam, which, according to my wife, means my poo. I think she pulled a muscle by laughing so much. She hasn't stopped laughing yet, and I don't know when she'll stop. TL, Doctor, I called my wife my poo in her native tongue whilst aiming for sexy talk. Edit, typos, and the word I was going for was Junam, missed it by a mile. But I now have a new favorite, which is Jigatu Bokram, which translates to I will eat your liver, but is actually more similar to I love you.